Hi, whether you are a boss yourself or you work for someone else, we are going to talk about how to be a good female boss. It may sound inappropriate to suggest how to be a good female boss, but this is a search that comes up a lot on the internet. So we are going to tackle this head on in 3 different ways. First, we're going to talk about different leadership styles and how to identify yours. And then we're going to talk about where your energy is flowing. And lastly, we're going to talk about what women are uniquely positioned to bring into the workplace. So let's get started. Now, we've all heard that B word, right? Boss, of course. Don't be silly. Don't get crazy. We're just starting this thing. Okay, we're going to talk about a few different kinds of personalities in the workplace, especially with regard to women. Now, women in the workplace and leadership, it's equal for most parts, but there are subtle differences that do make a huge difference. So let's start with one of my favorite people, Carl Jung. He was one of the first people to really talk about archetypes and bring that to the awareness of different kinds of personalities and what impact that has. So we're not going to go over all of them today. There's 12 core archetypes, and then there's more than that. But let's just go in the 4 cardinal directions, which are the north, south, east, and west, these personality types. So if you can imagine, there's 3 within each of these. Up here, we'll call this freedom. Over here, we're going to call this one love or social. Down here, this is about order and rule, like as in to rule over, for example, a team. And then this one over here is creator or ego, with all different kinds of names. But this, just for the sake of conversation, is how we are going to talk about them today. So why is this important? Well, if we can know where you or your boss, your female boss, is on this chart here, we can talk a little bit about the leadership style that best suits you or her, which of course serves everyone. So let's get started talking about these different corners, general corners, and what it looks like symptomatically to be in alignment or out of alignment. Now, when we talk about being in alignment, that means that your energy and your flow are aligned with who you are, and it's how you show up, it's how you lead, and it's how people see you. Mostly in the positive light. If you're not aligned, then you are out of function. And so out of function could either be over-functioning or under-functioning. And that means that it's trouble in River City. So if you have a leader who is really geared towards freedom, this is someone who, in alignment, is very much about exploration and having fun. And their leadership qualities are very much about bringing together a team to either rally around something completely new and to explore new territories, and or to have fun, that it's just life is an adventure and let's see what this product or service can bring to the world. So if we have someone who's functioning, that's what that sounds like. Freedom, which is exploration and play. Again, I'm really oversimplifying this just to make the point. If we have over here on the right side, this is someone who is all about people. So what it looks like is love or social. So these women tend to be very nurturing. They're very good with people. They're very good with a wide variety of people, both managing up, managing down, managing sideways. When they're functioning best, they're definitely beloved, and they have just a natural following. Now, out of function, out of alignment, either in an over or an under functioning of this particular type, could look like someone, a boss who is needy, insecure, I would even say immature, like wants to be everybody's friend, not their leader, right? Which can really get in the way of business, because sometimes we just need to be friendly. It's hard to respect someone when they just are wanting to be friends, you know? It's okay to have a rapport with your people and on a team, but being friends can sometimes be a little inappropriate. So down here in the order and the rule, these people are 100% all about, things being in order, having organization, ruling. These aren't negative terms. Everybody needs this kind of a leader. And so for a woman who is in a leadership position with this type of personality, when it's functioning very much like a queen. Think of like the rule and the nobility of a queen, and how a queen is loved by her subjects. Now that's a little different when in the workplace, but a queen is loved by her subjects, for that reason kept in high regard, and it's something that is almost like sacred to a certain degree. So there's a lot of respect, and there's definitely authority. I would even say there's trust here, because if you have someone have put there in that authority figure that you're giving you that respect to, that probably means you also trust them and their decisions. Now, this one, out of function, if you're under functioning from a queen perspective, you are doing things that can be disrespected, mistrusted. You're not coming from a place of strength and authority. But this is where that B word comes in, right? We've all heard it, the bitch, right? The opposite of the queen is the bitch. And this is what I really want to talk about, because a lot of women in power either feel that they need to be one, or we've had to resort to being them in order to come up in a man's world in business and in organizations. So it's really unnecessary for us. Our natural flow is really in the place of queen, especially for this kind of personality. We want to be revered. We want trust and authority. We want to be respected for the nobility that we bring, especially in a leadership position. Moving over here, just to complete the circle, is the creator or the ego. So these folks over here are typically, the ones coming up with new ideas, they're innovating, and they obviously bring a lot to the table. This word here, ego, is when it really out of functions, and that's just because what happens is they get so focused on what it is that they're creating or what they're trying to bring into the world that it can almost seem selfish, that they're very myopic in their focus. And you can see that they're on the opposite side as the people. So it's really about the creation over here, not so much about the people. So in an over or under functioning leader, male and female, this is the case for all of them. But again, we're talking about females. So if a female is not warm and friendly, or they're really just kind of focused on getting the job done, or figuring out the innovation, or everybody has to stay there late until it's done, we come back to this word again, right? Like if people are expecting a connection from her, because that's the gift that we women bring to the workplace, and if it's not present, then it can be seen as something missing or something wrong with the person. So inside of this conversation, I'd like to now move on to why we are uniquely as women, why we have a unique differentiator and what we bring in terms of balance into the workplace. Yang energy is most associated with masculine energy. And in a yang energetic, you have, let's say, deadlines and kind of a leadership style that is more one of based in fear. It can be Machiavellian. It can just really be about the way that it is, because it's the way that it's always been. So 9 to 5, that started in the Industrial Revolution, and it just kind of continued. Really just making decisions from a place of data and certainty and proof, and sort of cover your ass, right? And where women can come into this, and what we're bringing now into the world as we start to catch up in terms of numbers inside of organizations and inside of leadership positions and roles, is more of the yin or the feminine energetic, which allows us to receive information from more intuitive sources. Maybe it's that we can intuit what's going on with one of our team members in a certain way. Maybe it's that we are receiving information from somebody's look on their face, whereas maybe that might be overlooked. We can also make decisions based on our gut or our intuition, because we are connected more coherently with our hearts and our guts, along with our minds, but definitely more so when any person is coming from a more feminine or yin energetic. So we are uniquely positioned to bring balance into the workplace, but that is only if we come from these positions of true authority, which are embraced within either freedom, creator, order or rule, or love and social. Anything else is really going back to being powerless again. And allowing anybody to throw us into these kinds of roles or suggesting any of them is also going backwards. So knowing whether or not you're showing up as this, or people are perceiving you, is a really great diagnostic tool for anything that might be out of alignment at work. And if you're in alignment and things are going well and you see yourself in this, great job, keep it up. So I mentioned energy and flow as something that we would cover. And inside of this chart and inside of the balance of energies that we can bring, we really can look at where our energy and our flow is and our focus. Bringing the balance of the two energetics into the workplace and allowing everybody really to function out of their best selves. For too long, perhaps, there's been strong masculine energy in enterprise and organizations. A breath of fresh air is maybe even something that they can relax into. So really, we are in the brave new world, and the brave new world actually is pretty brave and pretty new, and it's a beautiful world. And bringing in all of the different kinds of leadership capabilities, both in balance in yin and yang, as well as across the archetypes of personalities, organizations and business and individuals can only win. If you have a fire in your belly and you know that there's a better way to do things, then you're gonna love this. I have a free and very fun diagnostic tool that will help you discover where you can harness your power. If you've watched any of the other videos in this series on Michelle's channel, then you may have heard me talking about the 7 areas in one's life or in organizations where you can leak or harness power. This diagnostic tool will help you to know if you are in your highest flow. It's an easy tool that you'll get a lot of benefit from, and you can use over and over again. So head to the link down below to get calibrating. It has been a pleasure being here on Michelle's channel. She's the epitome of a great mentor and coach. So I hope you have enjoyed our time together. I know I certainly have. Good luck.